Hey everybody, on today's episode we're going to be doing a fish dish. This one comes from Greece. It's called Psari Spetsio tiko, which is basically fish in the style of the island of Spetze. And this one uses a lot of fresh tomatoes and breadcrumbs. You bake it. Excellent. It's a very heartwarming dish, especially if it's a hot day, If you're a stranger and in keeping with the custom of Xenia or hospitality, it's very welcome. And in keeping with fish, I'd like you people to always remember, ask your fishmonger, find out where that fish comes from. It's a good commodity and you should be having it more in your diet, but there are some purveyors that are less honest than others, and that's what's ruining our oceans. So look around, ask about whether or not it's supported by OceanWise or other sorts of stewardship organizations. Get to know your food. Anyways, let's get to know this one. Let's go. And on today's episode, Psari Spetsio tiko. So first we're going to need about 400 grams of firm white flesh fish. You can use sea bass, but I'm using longline haddock here. We're also going to need 2 fresh tomatoes. And we're going to have a small bunch of parsley as well. We're also going to need 1 clove of garlic peeled. We're also going to need 30 grams of breadcrumbs. Just have any old stale bread, grind it up until you get breadcrumbs. I'm also going to need 125 mils of white wine, a baking dish. We're going to put some olive oil in there. Now the first step is we're going to core, peel, and chop our tomatoes. So here, I'm removing the core, going in at an angle about 1 inch, 45 degrees. Then we're going to use the zigzag method for peeling our tomato. And then we just chop it up. 5 or 6 in one direction, 5 or 6 in the other. There you have it. Then we take our tomatoes and we put them inside of a blender. Next, we're going to add our clove of garlic that we've peeled. You put that in the blender. And then our washed parsley, grab a little handful. What do? We put it in the blender. And then from that point, we add in about 80 to 120 mils of olive oil, just to get everything all nice and loose. Then we blend it, and that's the base for our sauce. Now when we're making this dish, it's almost like a lasagna. So we're going to put some tomato sauce down into our oiled dish. Then place a layer of fish on top of the sauce. And then from that point, we're going to add more sauce on top of the fish, just like this. But always remember, don't use the whole thing. Keep a portion. And then we're going to take a spoon and then we're just going to spread it out evenly all over the fish so there's good coverage. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some breadcrumbs on top of the sauce, then more sauce, then breadcrumbs until we're finished. So you see, we spread it out, put the breadcrumbs on top of the sauce, and the breadcrumbs absorb some of the liquid. This is a little bit of a drier dish. You're not having a ton of liquid. So remember, sauce, breadcrumb, sauce, breadcrumb. Pour some more sauce out. And we're going to spread it out with a spoon and repeat the process. In following with the principles of Xenia or hospitality, these foods are very comforting, quick to do, and easy. So here we go, our final layer of breadcrumbs. Then we add a splash of the wine just to make sure you get some flavor in there. And as you bake, you may need a little more wine. Just pour it in there if it looks dry. Then we have our oven preheated at 350. We let it go for around 30 minutes. And then the fish should come out looking like this. Wonderful. But we're going to let it cool down a bit. Now for an accompaniment, we're going to use grilled zucchini and feta cheese. So we preheat a grill pan, or you could use a barbecue. Get 100 grams of feta cheese and 2 zucchini. So we'll cut the tips off, and then I'm going to halve the zucchini, then I'm going to quarter them. Just so you get pretty long, thick spears. Put them in a bowl, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add some olive oil, a bit of salt, just to give it a little nice flavor, a couple of grindings of pepper, and then we put them into the hot grill pan so they sear up. Now you could do this on a barbecue, but just make sure that you get good grill marks. And once that's done, you crumble up some of the feta cheese all over our zucchini, and the residual heat should melt some of the cheese. And then from that point, add some dried oregano or fresh oregano if you have, all over your zucchini, and a squeeze of lemon juice. The acidity helps amplify all the flavors that are there. So you get some saltiness from the cheese, a little bit of tang, some grilly smokiness, and there we have it. A very comforting fish dish from the Mediterranean with some zucchini. Cheers, everybody.